Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's tutorial we are going to be recreating this dress by VEEKEE James. If this is what you love to learn, keep on watching. And this dress was also voted for in our group chat. If you are yet to join the chat, the link will be in the comment section. Here is a reminder of our online class that is going to be starting today. You still have a few hours to join us, so let's get into the main tutorial. Thank you. For material, I work with 2 yards of crepe, and then I also work with 1 yard of lacquer material. So I will advise you get a very thick lacquer. All right, so these are the materials that I work with. Get your pattern paper, and then for your top line you are going to come down by 4 inches. This is going to be our top line. All right, when you're done, go ahead and then you are going to fold your pattern into 2, because we are going to be drafting this pattern on fold. So fold into 2 to get the middle of the pattern. When you're done, open it up and then use your ruler to indicate the middle of the pattern by sharing it into 2, as you can see me do. When you are done with that, what you are going to do for your neck depth, mark 2 inches, and then for the neck width you are going to mark 3 inches. Note that whatever you are doing, you are starting from the middle line because we are drafting the pattern on fold. So whatever you mark on this side of it, mark on the other side. Then I will go ahead and then create my neckline like so. Next thing I'm going to do is to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, 7 inches on this side, and then I'll mark it on the other side. And then I'm going to come down by 8 inches, which is my chest measurement. All right, please note that whatever you are doing is on both sides of the pattern, and then the middle line is indicating the middle of your pattern. So hope this is clear. So from the middle part you can see me going out by 7 inches, and then I did the same thing on this side because that is my shoulder measurement. All right, I'm going to connect it to the one I already marked at the top. Then I'm going to also come down by 1.5 inch as my shoulder slant on both sides, and then connect it back to my neckline as you can see me do. Then after that, I'm going to find the midpoint of what I have left by folding my tape into 2 like so, and then I will mark the midpoint and go in by 0.5 inch as you can see. Then I will connect it back to my shoulder slant. I'm going to repeat the same thing on this side, find the midpoint of my armhole like so, and then I'll mark and then go in also by 1/2 inch as well, then connect back to my shoulder slant. After doing that, come over here. You are going to go out by your round bust circumference divided by 4. Do the same thing here. Whatever you are doing, note that it's from the middle. All right, then I'm going to also mark that. I'm working with 36 inches. As you can see, I already marked 9 inches on both sides, and then I'm connecting to create my armhole. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark my half length of 16 inches. So from my shoulder line you can see I'm coming down by 16 inches, which is my shoulder to half length of waistline. I'm going to go ahead and then use my ruler to create my line like so. After doing that, I'll go ahead and then label this as my waistline. Then I will go in by my waist circumference divided by 4, 7 inches, and then I'll mark the same 7 inches here. Then I'm going to take my ruler and then connect it back to my chest line as you can see me do on both sides. All right, after doing that, from my waistline I will come down by 9 inches as my waist to hip length. Just as you can see me do now, I will take my ruler and then create my hip line as well, and then I will label it as my hip line. All right, then on my hip line I'm going to go out by my round hip circumference divided by 4. I'll mark it on this side of the pattern, and then I will come over to this other side. I'll also mark my round hip circumference divided by 4. As you can see me do, I'm going to connect it back to my waistline. At the side from the hip line, go up by 2 inches, and then the middle of your pattern go up by 1 inch. Then do the same thing here, 2 inches as well. Then take your ruler, connect it together just as you can see me do. Connect it like so, and then repeat the same thing. Please watch my ruler placement, and then I'll go ahead and add 1/2 inch. If you think this is too low, you can actually do 3 inches and then 2 inches. So come over to your neckline, you are going to go in by 1 inch. All right, from your neckline, go in by 1 inch. Hope this is clear. Then from that 1 inch, you are going to go up by 1.25. all right, from your neckline, go in by 1 inch, then go up by 1.25. then I'm going to connect like so. Go out by 1 inch, then go up by 1.25. so hope this is clear. After doing that, what I'm going to do now is to come over here. I'm going to extend my shoulder by 3 inches. So my original shoulder, I'm extending it by 3 inches because of the style inspiration that we are working on. All right, so after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to take my curve ruler and then retrace my armhole. So just watch carefully how I am placing my ruler. Go ahead, recreate your armhole just as you can see me do. And then the next thing I'm going to do now is to come over to this other side. I'm going to repeat the same thing, extend my shoulder by 3 inches. And then I'm going to take my shoulder to meet that 3 inches point. All right, so just to be sure, I'm going to mark exactly 3 inches. And then I'll also go ahead to recreate my armhole just as you can see me do, like so. Then I'm going to, this part is actually not deep, so I'm going to reshape it to give it a proper look, just as you can see, so it will look like the other one. So that extension we went up with, we are going to connect it back into our shoulder line like so. All right, so just carefully connect it into your shoulder line just as you can see me do. Then after doing that, what we are going to do next is to come over here. We are going to go out by at least 4 to 5 inch, 4.5 inch to 5 inch. So let's work with 5 inch. So from this point, go out by 5 inch. You can see that I'm using from the middle of my pattern to the other side by 5 inch. Then what I'm going to do, from that 1.25 inches elevation that we have, connected to the 5 inch on the other shoulder like so. All right, so after doing that, what you are going to do is to take your free hand and then you are going to blend into the other side of the shoulder, just carefully so that it will rhyme. All right, you can see that this point is already deep, so just try and then blend it into the other shoulder as you can see me do. Then after doing that, all you need to do is to come over here, go out by 1 inch. All right, on the chest line, go out by 1 inch, extend your armhole to that point and then blend into your side chest line like so. All right, then repeat the same thing here. Go out by 1 inch. Remember, whatever you are doing here, you are doing it on the other side, and then connect your armhole to meet that point and then also blend into your chest like so. After doing that, all I'm going to do now is to add allowance only to the top area. I'm adding just 1/2 inch and then I'll cut that. I'm not adding allowance to the side because remember what we are working with is lacquer and it's really stretchy, so we won't be needing allowance. So that is why you must work with lacquer if you are recreating the style, so that you can actually have the same look. So I'll go ahead and cut out. Note the 5 inches point as you can see me do. Then take your curve ruler and then you are going to create a line. So just watch carefully my ruler placement. I'm actually doing this at a random. Just go ahead, make sure it doesn't exceed your chest line. Just watch carefully and make sure it doesn't exceed your chest line. So we are going to go ahead and then slit this whole line open. You can actually do 1.5 inches difference. And then I'm going to slit open as you can see me do. All right, go ahead and then slit these whole lines open. After opening, what you are going to do is to bring in your lacquer material. Please make sure you work with lacquer. So I'm going to use the stretchy part of the lacquer as the width. All right, remember some part of it, this one is actually one side stretchy, some stretch all around, but this is just one side stretchy. So I'm using the stretchy part as the width. All right, and then the non-stretchy part is going to be the length. So what I'm going to do now is to pin down. Just watch carefully what I'm going to do and then repeat the same thing. So we are going to spread this open in order to give it volume. That is exactly what I am doing here. So make sure you pin down before doing this. sure you actually pin every point of it down. Lacquer is actually not easy to work with. You can tell that lacquer, if you have actually worked with lacquer, you know that it's actually a case on its own. So do well to make sure you pin every point of it down. Hold it down with pin before you start pleating or putting it together, just as you can see me do. Even as you put it together, make sure you pin it down very, very, very well. All right, so you can see me trying to repin even as I am trying to put it together. So just bring the next one to the next one, pin down, take the next one, bring it to the next one, and then pin down. That is what you are going to do, and then cut out. When you're done holding it down with a pin, go ahead and then cut out. Please make sure, or do well to make sure you hold it down very well with your pin, or else you are going to find it difficult cutting. All right, so just as you can see me do, go ahead and then carefully cut out. After cutting out, go over to your machine. So at your exact allowance, you are going to stitch it. All right, make sure you don't remove the pattern. Stitch it while the pattern is on it. So as you can see, I already stitched, and then I'm going to remove. Please make sure you stitch while your pattern is still on it, just exactly how you put it together and pin down. Stitch it that way, and then make sure it's along your allowance so that you will not ruin the pattern. So just as you can see me removing it after stitching, I'm going to remove it. So it's just the allowance part that I removed, just the ½ inches allowance part. So why we are doing this is because we are still going to make use of this pattern. So this is what I have here, as you can see. All right, so all I need to do now is to set this aside and then bring in my pattern. So I'm going to take my paper tape, and then I'm going to close off every point of it that was slashed. When you are done, go ahead and then slash the middle point open, as you can see me do, to the end. Then you are going to come over to the waistline, go in by ½ inch on both sides, and then you are going to connect to the top and then bring it down to the hip line. Do the same thing on this side to the chest line, and then down to the hip line, and then cut it out. So this is going to be our back pattern. Bring in your fabric, and then what you are going to do is to place it on it and then pin down. Remember, we are using the stretchy part as the width. So I'm going to cut off. As you can see, to the back pattern, I'm still not adding allowance. That is because the stretchiness of lacquer is enough to cover up for allowance for both zipper and then the allowance for joining. So that is why no other fabric will work for this style or this design other than lacquer. So hope that is clear. I'm going to cut off now, as you can see. Remember, when you come over to the shoulder, to add up your ½ inch allowance that we already removed by joining with the front. All right, so hope this is clear. Make sure to replace your ½ inch. As you can see on my shoulder, I already replaced it. And then what we are going to do now is to remove our pattern, and then do the same thing here. Also remove your pattern as well, then bring in the front of your pattern. So what we are going to do now is to place it right side facing the right side. All right, so just carefully open it up and then place it right side facing the right side. All right, so I'm going to place this here, join by ½ inch, and then come over to the side, join by 1 inch. Then also repeat the same thing here. Don't worry about allowance. The stretchiness will cover up, like I said before. Join. Remember to start from your 5 inch, join the rest, and then join the side by 1 inch. Welcome back, guys. This is it after joining at the side, as you can see. So what I did around the shoulder, I fold in 1/2 inch around the shoulder and then I top stitch it, right? And then the neckline, I just iron in 1/2 inch because I didn't want to stitch. I don't want to stitch the neckline, so I just iron in 1/2 inch. So when I'm adding my zipper, I will fold in 1/2 inch at the back, and then I will also do the same around the shoulder because I don't want to have stitch around my neck area. You can actually join by 1/2 inch if you wish to. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and then add my zipper. So I will do just that and then I'll bring it back. So this is it. I already fixed my zipper. As you can see that my 1/2 inch is still iron in. I did not use I did not join it with the I did not stitch it rather, because I don't want to have stitches around the neckline. For the down part, I have about 29 inches length. Please note that this actually depends on what you want. Whatever length you want yours to be, go ahead and then cut out the exact length that you want. So we are going to join now. Come over to your machine. So you can see I'm starting from the back, so I'm just going to leave out a few inches, about 1 or 2 inches before I start pleating. So the width of the pleating, you can actually make it 1.5 inch to 2 inches. It depends, but if we are working with the exact inspiration that we have, we are going to be making pleat of about 1.5 to 2 inches width. All right, so that is exactly what I'm going to do now. So just watch what I'm doing and then repeat the same thing. We are just going to do this around the hip line. So at this point, I already completed this, and then I have excess, so I'm just going to cut out As you can see, I'm cutting off the excesses that I don't need. All right, then after doing that, the few inches I left off before, I'm just going to join it from that place to the end and then pleat what I have left. That will be all, and then I'll go ahead and iron out. So this is it. This is what it is here. So all you are going to do is to iron out, and I guess we all here know how to iron. There is no way you don't know how to iron pleats. If you don't know how to iron pleats, check my previous video on how to do that. I will also include the link in the description box. So I will do just that and then share the finished look with us. So this is the finished look. This is what it looked like after I was done ironing. Thank you so much for watching. If you find my video helpful, remember to like and always leave a comment. Also share with your friends that might likely find this video helpful. Thank you so much. I will see you in my next video. Bye.